Hi everybody and welcome. In this video we're going to do a real quick tutorial on how to build a modular engine in Stormworks. So the first thing you need for a modular engine is a crankshaft. We're going to put in a few different blocks with a crankshaft here, and we got to make sure they're all connected together like this. You can see the crankshaft runs through the middle. Then we're going to add some cylinders. Got to have the black part connected to the white part of the cylinder of the crankshaft like that. And we can even add more cylinders on the side here if you want. Now, if you do have cylinders that are disconnected like this, the engine won't work unless you use a manifold to connect them in at least one place, like that. Now that they're connected with a manifold, all of these cylinders will work and your engine will start. Okay, now you need a drive belt. We're going to put the drive belt on the front. And we're going to connect a starter to the drive belt. Next up, we need various different manifolds on our engine. We're going to need an air manifold. We're going to need a exhaust manifold. We're going to need a fuel manifold. And I'm going to add a coolant manifold. On the other end of our engine, we're going to put a clutch. And this will go out to whatever you're going to power with your engine. So this could be the wheels of a car, this could be a propeller for your boat, or it could even be a generator if you want to make some electricity. Okay, now I need to connect up these manifolds. So we've got air, we'll do the air first. I like to color code the air with blue. And that can just go to a fluid port. Next up we have exhaust. I'll color code exhaust with gray. And again, we'll go fluid port. With the fuel, we're going to go to a fuel tank. I'm going to color code that with red. And we'll grab a tank. Okay, we'll leave it right here, for example. Just got to connect up the pipes. There we go. On the inbound side of your tank, you're going to need a way to refuel the tank. And we're also going to need what's called a gas relief valve on the inbound side here. That is because if you take fuel out of the tank and you don't let air in on the other side, we will be creating a vacuum inside the tank. And then after a short while, your engine will stop running because of the vacuum. So we've got a gas relief valve with a fluid port. And then we'll use a hose anchor over here so we can refuel the fuel tank, and we also have the gas relief valve that allows air into the fuel tank as well. Okay, so we've connected up air, we've connected up exhaust, we've connected up fuel. Let's also connect up coolant. I like to color code that with pink. And we're going to connect it to a radiator. Radiators, electric radiators are the most efficient form of heating in Stormworks, or cooling, I should say. And I'm going to go back one further because I'm going to use a fluid pump. So with your coolant, you need to create a loop. So you can see the coolant manifold here has an in and an out side, and we're going to connect up a loop with the pipes. I've connected a pump. And there's a couple of different types of pumps that you can use. Just for the demonstration, I'm just going to use this one to make it nice and easy to see what's going on. And now we just need straight pipe. There we go. Now we have a loop with our radiator and our pump for coolant. Okay. So we have a starter, we have air, we have fuel, we have exhaust, we have coolant. And that should be everything we need. Let's go ahead and connect up some controls and some electricity. I'll add a battery. Okay. I'm going to have a button for turning the engine on and off. I'm going to have a throttle. I'm also going to have another throttle for the clutch. And that should be all we need there. I'm going to connect up all the electricity. And the radiator and the pump, they both need an on signal. You can do this any way you want to, but I'm just going to use a constant on signal so they will always be running. Going there and there. And then we also need to connect up these other things. So here's our on-off button. We're going to connect that to the starter on the engine. We've got the clutch. We're going to connect that to the clutch. I'll name this clutch. And then one interesting thing that we need to do is for the air manifold and the fuel manifold, we need to connect them both to the throttle, but first we're going to get a function block because we need to send half the amount to the fuel manifold as we do to the air manifold. So I'm going to say x divided by 2 in this function block. And we'll take the value from the throttle, put it into this function block. And so we're taking the throttle divided by 2 and we're sending that to the fuel manifold. Then we take the full value of the throttle and send that to the air manifold. And that should be everything we need. Let's go ahead and test this out. So we'll give our engine a little bit of throttle and we'll turn her on. There we go. Now we can turn the starter off and the engine will continue to run. We'll add some clutch. And to prevent the engine from dying, you can see we'll just have to like tweak the throttle a little bit. If we let the throttle go down to 0, then the engine will eventually stall and die. And then we would have to do the starter again. But there we go. We have a working engine and it is powering the generator. Now, that's nice, but we would have to be constantly adjusting the throttle in order to prevent the engine from running too hot or to prevent the engine from stalling. So I'll show you one more thing, and that is that you can use an engine controller. I'm using one from the workshop by a wonderful creator by the name of Z, or Zay. The Z modular engine controller, you can find this in the workshop. And it looks like this. And we're going to just connect everything up, and I'll show you how this works. So instead of using the function block to control the engine, we're now going to use this modular engine controller. So that's an optional node. You don't have to worry about that dynamic storic or AFR. But the ones we do want to connect is throttle goes to throttle. Crankshaft from the engine goes to crankshaft. On-off goes to the on-off. Don't forget composite. There's also composite from the cylinders to the engine controller. And then the outputs go, air manifold goes to air manifold, fuel goes to fuel, and starter goes to starter. And there we go. Got everything hooked up. So now we can see when we start the engine, it's going to just idle. It's idling at 6 RPS. And if we take it all the way up to full throttle, it's going to be limited to 14 RPS to save on fuel efficiency and to prevent overheating as well. And then we can just add clutch, and now we can see that the generator is being powered. So that's a very basic modular engine controller or modular engine tutorial, and also showing you how to use a modular engine controller. All right, thank you very much for your attention, and have a great day.